Okay. Hello. Let's see if I can get this going real quick. Well, fucking happy Spectre Saturday to all who celebrate and to all who observe. Hello, Shark Wizard Gaming. Welcome in. What up, Mad Dog? I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you for coming through. Love to see you. Good to have you. Connections Charles, this is true. Let's see. Before we get into everything, though, I do think it's a little funny getting into. Let me change this. How does this look? Is this more indicative of movement? Oop. Cool. All right. The Spectre sound of meter. Yes. Mic volume meter on stream. This is true. VitoTube Mini does love to show that off. So I'm not streaming from my regular setup because my GPU is dead. I am streaming from a laptop now. My GPU fucking died. And the crazy shit, I thought, okay, let's see what I can do to plug some shit into my PC to get it to work. And I was like, okay, well, there's a desktop, like an old office desktop. It has a low profile GPU in it that can technically output a display. It's 2 gigabytes of VRAM, but the cooling was really bad. It was like a blower style card. This is the picture of my solution before I found out it couldn't stream. So I had to just use a different device entirely. This shit, like, it works. This shit technically works. I fucking strapped a fan to it to get the air to blow this way and cool it. And it cools it sufficiently, but it literally is so old, it doesn't work for streaming. So I can technically access everything on my PC through this for the time being, but we are not going to play games off this shit. But yeah, that is the rather unfortunate preface that I made some shit that's probably not allowed at a fucking airport. But yeah. Fuck PC gaming shit sucks. At least the PlayStation 2 doesn't give me a headache when I want a game. This is true. This is all very true. And also, stream is going to look noticeably different. That is because I spent maybe the past 20 minutes attempting to remake everything from the OBS profile on my PC. Because when you clone the profile from OBS, it doesn't bring everything over, and you have to bring all the files over and path them correctly if you have assets. So everything here is as close in memory to what I used to have, but it doesn't really matter because it's not like it was that crazy in the first place. The starting soon screen is just an image, thank God. You say that, but I had to blow the fuck out of my memory cards on PS2, that's true. But you know what? I would rather blow into my PC than do whatever the fuck you just saw with that single slot blower style GPU from 2010. Laptop setup accidentally fucks up and shows me shirtless oiled up on webcam. You joke, but you never know. The chances are not 0, that is for certain. But we're gonna make it work. So we've got daily games as promised. And many other streamers you may have seen, maybe some in the chat, they've been into some Hollow Knight Silksong. And that game looks great. I've owned the first Hollow Knight for a long time, and I never really got into it proper. And then, like, the other day I was like, you know what? Let me give this shit a try. I've sunk it in like 15 hours already. So I'm going to be starting off of that save, but yeah, I'm going to be playing the first Hollow Knight after everything. And it does run on this. Hollow Knight, contrary to popular belief, does not require a graphics card or DLSS. Thank God. So we can get some gaming in today. But that's enough preamble. Yeah, it worked if you blow into a GPU, it fucking does nothing, that's true. Silksong's so fucking good, Spectre, I swear I just got to what I thought was the end. Turns out it's Act 2. That's crazy. I mean, it looks really good. Like, I'm aware loosely of the story. I've seen the final boss of Hollow Knight, but I don't care much for that because it's like, I have to experience it, right? But Silksong looks great. So I'm glad that it's fucking turning up on its promise there. Shallow Hollow Knight. I'm saying. Oh. But yeah, that's how it's been. But fret not. It's time for a little daily gamer action with connections. Genuinely an amazing game, maybe top 10 ever, TBH. You know, I wasn't sure of the hype, and then I decided to try Hollow Knight because, like, you know, some content creators I like to watch, they play a lot of Hollow Knight, and they've done some videos on it, and I'm like, you know what? I mean, it looks fun. And I'm playing this shit, I'm like, damn, I can't put this shit down. Okay. And, like, I can only think, like, it's been cool to play, just, like, regularly, like, keyboard style, but, like, I feel like it would go insane on a gaming handheld. Let's see. Motherfucking it's tiny on screen, huh? There you go. Controller all the way for that. I think controller's nice, but I do find the precision of movement for the first Hollow Knight to be a little more fine-tuned with the arrow keys, in my opinion. That's just how I've been playing, though. My hatred of Metroidvanias will never let me touch any of those games, that's fair. I think it's funny because, like, I enjoy Castlevania, I've also played Bloodstained, and I thought that was pretty cool. And I feel like Hollow Knight scratches that itch where it's just like, not only is it the Metroidvania style, but it's also just like, at least to me, welcomingly difficult and not so difficult that it turns me off, you know? Sterling Silver, Nikhil. I don't know if you played Metroid Dread, but that game was really great too. I think for a time I owned it, but the funny thing is I never actually booted it up, and then I sold my Switch. But I think if given the chance, I would love to try Metroid Dread because it looks good. I was a partial owner for probably the lesser part of like half a year. And then I was like, I don't even play my fucking Switch. But it looked really good. Major Private Soldier. So I cannot be convinced every time I try to get in one backtracking segment, I drop it immediately. I will say the backtracking's a little annoying. I mean, we can get into it more when I actually play the goddamn, but like, there's no doubt understandable issues that turn people off from getting into games like that. Shout out to my favorite Switch 2 game, Fire Emblem Three Houses, right? Especially when they're doing Fire Emblem Three Houses the second for Switch. Love going back to an old area with new powers, that's also true. I think it's a big mind stem to see something and you can barely like reach it and it's like, oh, I might need another fucking ability to do this shit. Secrets? Privates? No. Private, Major, Soldier, Principal? No. 0 matches. That was a red herring. Critical. Major. Personal. Private. Wow. Mass. $1 pound sterling. Like denominations of money in different currencies? Yep. Okay. We get there. Maybe we can clutch. But shit. Personal, secret, private, inner. Ooh. Personal, private. Secret, inner. That's a Mad Dog brand sponsored green clear right there. Good shit. Intimate and undisclosed. Very nice, very nice. Also, I hope everyone's week has been going alright and that their Saturday's going even better. It's been a sort of slow week, but we take those. A Nikhil, a bill, a wing, and a key? No. A bill, a principal. Critical, key, major, principal. I'm low-key sick and my throat's sore, but I'm powering on. Yeah, bro. Sending all the energy to you and hopefully you can get a little better. You just got better from illness, I'm doing better, I heard. I remember you talking about that, and that's why there was a drought of Mad Dog streams, but I'm glad you're feeling better, and I hope the same can be extended to Shark soon. Wing Soldier Buffaloes. Yeah, okay. We clutch that. That's not bad. Fair connections, fair connections. Get better soon, Shark, but thank you for spending time here even though you're feeling a little sicky. I hope you got like tea or something. Mad Dog and Frosty gave me the sickness from our Makeout session in VC, I see. That's tough because unless you have Discord Nitro, I might get a little sick. I'm kissing him on VC like that, so I get you. I get you. It's Persona 5 Strikers. Next. Freaking next. Persona. Persona 5 Scramble. Lemon and honey might go for a fucked up throat. That's true. I've also learned from being sick many a time. Big difference between natural honey and just like the honey you can buy in the fucking regular schmegular bear container. Like the shit that's full of sugar versus like honey that's actually good for you. Or like some fuck shit honey that costs a little too much and it has the honeycomb in it, but it's actually good. Is this Borderlands? Duo? Franchising Saga? Okay. I don't recognize this character form. Unless it could be the first one. Nope. I don't know who the fuck that is. That must be the newest one. It is. That's crazy. That's Reinhardt. For real. Pride 4 came out recently? I do think that some Zeraccordians are whipping up a game day with fucking Borderlands. I hope they're having fun. I heard interesting things about its performance. We got local beekeeper Andy's here, so I got a nice chunk of good honey. Ooh. Very nice. I'm glad you're well supplied in the Shire. Let's see, this character looks like fucking... He looks like a protagonist for an Xbox game. This character feels like Apex Legends. Conan said the game sucked and he shat on it with AVGN. Makes sense. Reinhardt's about old. He has insane abs. Or maybe he had the Drake ab surgery. And then this girl feels like a Saints Row character, maybe? I mean, they're all cohesive. It just feels funny because, I don't know. These don't stick out to me like previous Borderlands protags do. Character time. Every time this shit pops up, it looks like fucking Zangief's pubes. Is this Squall Leonhardt from Final Fantasy? No, this is Travis Touchdown from No More Heroes. We get there. I thought because of the belt and the shit near his belt that it was like the feathers from Squall, but Squall has black pants. This guy has blue jeans. Also, those weren't feathers, that's his fucking beam sword. Okay, not bad. Not bad with the game duel. Now it's keywords. Slabs, powers, parkour? Slabs. Slabs, powers, parkour. Fucking like... What's that game? I don't know squat about the game, but fucking, is it Infamous? Tua? No. Felt planning absorption. But what the fuck is the slabs? Is this Dishonored? Nope. Repetition assassination AI enemies? Prototype. Oof. Island setting? What? Multiple paths timeline reset. Ninja Gaiden? Fuck. Unique weapons on-screen hit. Dual protagonists? Okay, let's look at this as a whole, right? Parkour, stealth, assassination, absorption, dual protagonist. Xeno. I don't know anything about Xenoblade, so I'm willing to fucking guess it. Oh, this is fucking Deathloop, dude. I didn't know I had slabs, what the fuck? Also, parkour is a very interesting descriptor for this game. I played this a little bit on Game Pass. I think it's kind of fun, but I mean, that's why I only say I played a little bit. I didn't finish it. I didn't get to the slab boss fight, that's true. This fool does absorb powers, though. Okay, that's fair. Deathloop, yeah, we get there at least. Now, let's hope we don't ruin our streak here. Let's guess a fucking... Hollow Knight. Why not? More recent, okay. Our World. It's like this year. That's a huge hint. Unreal Engine this year, single, multiplayer, and co-op. Now we're getting somewhere. Also, it might be a shooter. PC game for sure. Ooh, Peak. Good ass guess. Ooh. Okay, wait. That did give us some good ass hints. So definitively this year. Probably action. It's first person. Is it Oblivion Remasters? Ooh. Oh wait, no, that's third person and I should, damn. So all modern consoles and PC. Or well, modern consoles minus Switch and PC. First person. What first person shit came out recently? Oh fucking. First person shit. I think the Blueprints. Ooh. First person, but it's not a mystery game. I would argue not puzzle or strategy either. My mind is going to the friend slap like Repo and that camera one. Possible. First person. That's really tripping me up. We can get a one-time clue here. We've already gone 5, I don't mind. Tripwire Interactive, I don't know who that is. It's just a rather unfortunate hint to give me specifically. Tripwire? What the fuck have they made? Or what are they known for? Published and developed by Tripwire in Unreal. Why does that sound familiar? It's a modern-ass game. So it came out kind of recently. Fucking... Motherfucking, Compelling first person... Is it like Avatar? Frontier... Okay, this came out like last year, right? I don't think this is a this year game. But my mind is going to this because it's first person and newer. I'll put this on hold for a minute while I think of a more compelling option to guess, because we have 4 lives left. Fucking... I feel like I'm gonna feel really stupid when I actually find the answer, because first person from this year should narrow it down. I just can't think of anything. So let's see here. Was there any horror games that were first person from this year? I might have to guess it because I don't have anything to go off of. It was 2023, that's even older than I thought. I thought it was like last year. Oh, there's third person in this game, I didn't know that. So action might be the fucking through line here. A first person action game from this year. By devs named Tripwire Interactive. First person. I do be repeating that a lot. Let's see. Fucking... Ooh. Wait, it could be a first-person action shooter, because Adventure didn't tick off, but Shooter did. First-person action shooter by Triple. Oh, is it Battlefield 5? No. It's also EA. Oops. But it is a shooter. Also, this came out hella long ago. What's the one that came out recently? I thought Battlefield 5 was this year. Dude. A quandary we're in. Newest I thought was just a beta, not out yet. Okay. Because I'd seen gameplay tests of the newest one and I just assumed it was out. Rather unfortunate. I'm cooked on this one. Me too, dude. Fucking, it's a shooter. It's a first-person shooter from this year. Tripwire Interactive? Is it gonna be like... Ooh, what's that fucking game that came out recently that's like Apex, but you get cards that like dictate your perks? Is it Fragpunk? Oh, this is so close. Is that new Dune game in FPS? I think there are aspects of Dune that may have an FPS involved, but I think you can go third person. So that's the thing. I'm not 100% on Dune, but I could see it. I think when you get into vehicles in Dune, it's third person, unfortunately. Okay, so it's not Fragpunk, but Fragpunk is like dangerously close. New shooters. God damn, dude. I think even if I get this wrong, I feel like I really cooked on Fragpunk because it's so close, but I actually don't know what the fuck game this is. New emergent FPS? Is it Shroud's game, I think? X Defiant? Killing Floor 3. That's crazy. Yeah, I just deadass would not have considered Killing Floor 3. I don't even think I've seen much coverage on this. Horror action survival. That's wild. I'm not too upset. Yeah, this shit exists. It do exist. Shout out to the Killing Floor heads, I guess. Alright, now we can finally play a game. No longer for the kids. For the men. Time guesser. Shout out Floorheads, I'm saying. That head was killer. This is probably more contemporary than we're led to believe, despite the horses and cowboy hats. I mean, would I be stupid for thinking this is like Maryland or Texas? Maybe like... Let's fucking get deep in here. America's the vibe, for sure. Or well, okay, that sign says Toronto Dominion Bank. This could be... Okay. For those that are unaware, apparently in Canada, in Calgary, they celebrate something called Stampede, in which there's a lot of cowboy regalia. I'm gonna have to guess maybe it's Calgary Stampede. 2020. 1971 Calgary Stampede, but it is Stampede. Okay. I got absolutely destroyed on the year. The knowledge. I feel like this is so custom because I have family in Canada and I went up there during the time Stampede occurred. It was so weird flying to Canada and seeing people in cowboy hats and just like, what the fuck? Didn't we just leave this? But yeah, Calgary Stampede, that exists. Now you know. Damn. If only I had thought more about the way shit looks, because they're just dressed in the attire, but there's nothing to really personally indicate to me that this is like that much old, you know? Maybe the signage, but I don't know. I think there was a sufficient amount of cooking, but it could have been cooked a little further. Okay, this shit old. This is goddamn black and white picture. I'm gonna have to say year-wise, we might be pretty close on this one with like 60 or 50s-ish, maybe 60 contemporarily. The shoes and the attire, the clarity of this photo. Now where is this? Is this like... Could this be like Egypt? I'm gonna guess Cairo 1963. That seems potentially right. Palestinian refugees who had fled to Jordan during the Six-Day War returning to the West Bank via Allenby Bridge. 4 years off, location a bit off, but the total score not bad. Blue, hello Louis Stein Gaming. Hello. Hello Louisiana Stein, how are you? Good to see you, love to have you. I hope you're well on this fine Saturday. I'm just doing some time guesser before we get into the Hollow Knight, the first one. Oh, I just realized chat might look really fucked up on the screen. Hold on. This shit probably looks so bad on screen, but that's okay. This is... Okay, Grand Central Station, isn't that New York? United Taxis Cape Town area. Cape Town. These are non-standard license plates. It's not New York. Cape Town. Is Cape Town in South Africa? Yes. Yes, it is. Cape Town. Now, let's place a time. This is a pretty crispy photo. This could be within the past decade. I want to say it's like 2014. 7 years off. Taxi with a sofa strapped to its roof in Cape Town, South Africa. Let's fucking go. That's not bad. This. Chess Olympiad? I think that says 2008. This is high-key cheating. I'm gonna do that. I'm chilling. How about you? That's good. My Saturday's been alright. Just a little bit of cleaning and stuff like that, but, you know, now we're chilling, chillaxing. Where is this? I don't know what flag that is. I also don't know what language that is. But, okay. I'm inclined to believe. Definitely Europe, because the vibe. A Samsung building. High-key Europe. Fair guess. Now let's narrow that guess down, right? Ooh. Okay, where would they hold a chess Olympiad, though, right? Could this be Austria? Armenian Chess Olympiad, 1 year off. Oof. Okay, we get a decent enough score. Dude, this shit old as hell. Okay, so she's out here cranking that in the 50s. This is the first car. So she's out here cranking that. My bitch posed nasty, actually. This guy, he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He's wearing all white trying to fix a car. This is kind of dumb. Cranking the doohickey, I'm saying. This is fucking 12 Angry Men Central back here. District of Columbia, and that's a year. That's like 1937. Damn, I love cheating at this game. Fuck yes, dude. Where the fuck is Columbia at? Hitting the cartoon? I don't know, boss. Yeah, I don't fucking know, boss. Yeah. It's Columbia, Ohio. Columbus, Ohio. Oops. What's the difference, dude? Where is Columbia at? Like, Is it one of the colonies? Columbus, left side. Okay, thank you, thank you. I'm glad someone with knowledge of the Americas is here to help me. Left side. Motherfucking, Colombia. What the hell? What the fuck? My ass knows nothing. I need to start thinking about like what places sound proper, right? Columbia blank, and blank being the state. District of Columbia. Columbia, Wyoming, no. Columbia, North Dakota, perhaps. Columbia, Montana, perhaps. Missoula, that's crazy. That'd be a beautiful name for a daughter, Missoula. Cape Disappointment is a crazy one. Columbia, Nevada, perhaps. We ain't got shit out here. Not left side, I'm trolling. You know what? Fair. My ass deserves that. So funny. Columbia, South Carolina? That rolls off the fucking tongue. Ooh. Ooh. Wait, that's Washington. Oh, that's close though. Ooh. Let's go. It's not a bad score. I can live with this score. I would have loved to have aimed for like a 40k, but I botched the first one, but everything else was pretty solid. That's not bad for today. Happy weekend. What's up, Butterzilla Gaming? Good to see you. Love to have you. Happy weekend. I hope your weekend's going well as well. Now we're about to do Costco. We are going to guess the price of this particular product at Costco. Kirkland Super Premium Vanilla Ice Cream. 2 gallons of it. So it's like 2-gallon containers in a box. This has to be like stupid cheap, right? Give me $5.99. Okay. Give me $7.99 per chance. Oh, $10.99. $11.99. That's fair. That's fair. I'm fucking guessing $5.99 like this is 2005. But we get there. Okay, cost total, that's fair. Now it's time for the main event. Grandale. As many of you know and understand Scran, I'm sure many of you are holding in your excitement. Costco ice cream, I love Costco ice cream. Kind of busts down, not gonna lie. Grand Lords. Baron. Stand for the Scran flag. What's Scran? Oof. Modest herring sandwich. The grip on the sandwich is crazy. No one's taking it from you. That's a crazy photo to submit. Lancaster City paprika fries. I can get behind that. Herring is like a type of fish. Raw skin on fish. Yerp. Ooh, the Paul Curryhurst. I love currywurst so much. Salted fries, sliced German bacon frank, currywurst drizzle and jalapenos. Banger. Fish and chips with mushy peas. I would have to assume the man Paul is in Grimsby Town, perchance. And then Man City. We got motherfucking fishy chips with mushy peas. I think fish and chips for £10 is kind of wild in comparison to this. I feel like this is so hefty for $6.50. Oh my god. Okay, that's fine. Pie, mash, and gravy. Did they engrave the pie with something? There's like a logo underneath the gravy. Chicken tikka wrap and chips. This looks really good. I'm not gonna lie, chicken tikka wrap and chips looks fire as fuck compared to the pie, mash, and gravy, unfortunately. Yeah, the wraps went insane there. What? Okay, chips chicken, and chip shop curry sauce. That's self-explanatory. This is a very yellow photo. Unidentified food. This is a gyro. It's not unidentified. You've just chosen not to identify it. They put a temporary tattoo on it so you know it's fresh. That's true. Oh wait, I just realized the fucking chat did. You guys can live here. The sauce is so... Yeah, the sauce is very salsa verde-ish. We're at the cricket today. Let's go, dude. 1140 for this large honker of a gyro, admittedly. Shit, dude. Yep, we're at the cricket today. Motherfucking crazy. I do think the gyro clears. What? Dude. Mental illness. Wow. Holy fuck. This is not for the faint of heart. So Krakauer is giant sausage, tiny roll. This insane framing if I ever seen it. And then the klobasa sausage, the gorda, I guess, as eloquently put, with like smatterings of sauce at the top. Like, you see a good mustard up there. I'm not sure if that's bread or if that's a different sauce up there, and then some pieces of bread. Ooh. The cut in this hot dog's insane. It probably made it incredibly crunchy in the fry. Now, what I'm truly wondering, like, this is the Czech Republic, I think, and then this is Germany serving it up German style with, like, a mitra of hot dog inside of a centimetre of bun. I think this technically presents better, but it's kind of a... It's kind of a meme of a picture. Yeah, because I feel like this is a little too provocative on the right side. Okay, so if Italy is serving a pizza, settle down, this is a Danish. The Rapamak from Grimsby Town. Beef patties, fries, gherkins, and burger sauce on flatbread. So this is like a burger wrap. Right. Burger sauce also being used liberally here. Isn't that just mayonnaise? What was that last track? Let's see here. This one from SMT4 Tokyo, if that's what you're referring to. Hopefully that helps you out. The one before this, okay. Oh, this is from Soul Hackers 2. Yeah, it's called Comp Smith. Soul Hackers 2 soundtrack hits. The game, unfortunately, mixed on that, but the soundtrack hits. Now let's see here. Now watch this drive. I feel like the wrap wins here, even if it's not doing much wrapping. That is true. This is a build your own wrap. The lettuce is it's there. I do think ratio-wise, it's very interesting on the Rapamak. This pizza for $4.30. I mean, like, maybe if a baby ordered it, sure. Yeah, the Rapamak might be doing it. Soul Hackers 2 stream when? I wouldn't be averse. Sometime in the future. I'd preface to other people that it arrived earlier. My PC's not in the right state, so I'm playing less intensive games today. When I get my PC back up and running, I would be down for Soul Hackers, hecky. There's a lot I like about it, a lot to talk about. Yeah, we're going Rapamak on this one, I think. It, like, clears supremely compared to Pizza Danish. That's true, Shark. That's freaking true. Okay, fried apple pancake. That looks delicious. Topped nachos. You're telling me a top made these nachos? I also like how there's no ingredient list description for topped nachos. It's just fucking whatever the fuck is up here. It is good color. This is a very colorful, pretty plate going on here. I mean, like, my best extrapolation is, like, cheese, sour cream, chili, salsa, and jalapeno. So we got a good smattering of shit. It is topped with all that shit. And then the German fried apple pancake with vanilla. So it says with vanilla. I'm gonna have to assume vanilla ice cream that then melted, or is it just like quote-unquote vanilla like sauce, because it's like not necessarily ice cream, right? I think the nachos are one of these pancakes looks like it'd be delicious, but the nachos are like a meal. Yeah, okay, we get there. The Avro Bomber Box. Okay, slow down. This is chicken with a burg and fries. That's really compelling for $10, not gonna front. Brisket mac and cheese from the USA from St. Louis City. And yeah, that looks like brisket mac and cheese for sure. Fried pancakes less money, but probably heavier food, hard pick, yeah. It was close, for sure, but I think in terms of scran, the pancake was not gonna edge out on like some tasty nachos. Brisket wins just looking better. I feel that. I think the cost proposition over here is crazy. That's like a double burger, fries, and chicken wings. I can fuck heavily on that. But the brisket mac and cheese does look good. But like, okay. We're like anticipating the interests of the masses. So I do feel like brisket mac and cheese is like, ooh, brain activation. Fuck. Okay, never mind. Forget any theory I've ever made. Wow. Hot chili chicken and chips or pizza donut. I've never seen a pizza donut in my life. That's kind of crazy. This guy took a photo with the flash on. He was really out here to present this. I feel like pizza donut's so novel, but I don't think it wins any awards. I think we gotta go hot chili chicken and chips because it's proven and familiar. Look, I can't see myself picking a donut at the stadium. I'm saying. Yorkshire pudding wrap? That looks pretty. That's a nice presentation. Or pork rib burger. This is pork rib in heavy quotes. Pizza donut on some shit Steven Universe be making while war's going on in his backyard. That's true. That and some cookie cats. And some head. Yeah, this is the blandest looking pork rib burger ever. It's like if I took the frozen pork rib that you would get from like a banquet meal, sucked all the sauce off, and put it on a bun. This is crazy. This is crazy offerings from Notts County. I think we're going Derby County on this one with the Yorkshire pudding wrap. 10% is insane. Not bad, just clinched it, it says. 7 out of 10. So what did I get wrong here? This is actually quite close. I can't be too upset with that. That's like pretty close. Unidentified food is crazy because this gyro looks fantastic to me, but sure. Brisket versus the bomber box. I guess the value is too hard to beat, huh? A lot of fucking food. Good screening? Thank you. Oh. Oh boy. Oh yeah, bud. Okay, let's see here. They bought it at the cricket and didn't look what they bought. That's true. They just didn't give a shit. Anyway, I'm gonna post this to Footy Scran because it's Scran, I guess. What is it? I don't know. Well, I might. Now let's see if I can get this shit up and running. Good Scran though. Alright, so for those unaware, I'd explained earlier, I'd already played a sizable amount of Hollow Knight, like maybe like 12 to 15 hours in. So we're starting from a point, not in the middle, but like within the game. But it is my first time playing Hollow Knight still. Okay, let's see what the fuck is up. Let's see what the fuck is up, Kyle. The tiniest Hollow Knight window you ever did see. two screen. Oop. There we go, that's better. Okay, let's get this shit. Get this shit. So yeah, that was my very first time playing Hollow Knight, and I was like, eh, so. And then the second time, very recently, I was like, let's pour some time into this shit. So I poured about 15 hours. Okay. One second, let me check some shit. Okay. So what have I done so far? Blue Knight, let's gar. Let's fucking gar. I'm saying. So... I'll fucking, This is how much of the map I've got going on. I purchased all of the map upgrades. Or not map upgrades, but like, you know, the pins and shit. Let's see. I've killed some Dream Knights already. Or Dream Warriors, whatever they're called. I've gotten the first of the 3 masks for that locked up egg. Spectre gonna have to start pogging and clapping every 10 seconds after saying he thought Hollow Knight was meh. Twitter's gonna kill him, that's true. The minute I find something to complain about, someone's gonna come through and slice my throat. Let's see. What's a measure of progress that can help? I've got these many pins, or charms, rather. I just bought the fragile ones from that weird bug. And then this is my progress. I have the channeled nail, so I got the pale ore and upgraded my nail from first upgrade to second upgrade. And then for my focus abilities, I've got Vengeful Spirit to do the range thing, and then I can dive. I have the Dream Nail as well. This many Vessel Fragments. I've already completed a mask, so I have an extra HP thingy. Mothwing Cloak, Mantis Claw, Crystal Heart, so I can do the big dash. Which pin lets you touch the DS bottom screen to make it fire, like The World Ends With You? Let's check on that. Motherfucking... I mean, surely this one. This one looks like it. I would assume. We'll have to see. And then Trampass, yep. And then I've just been collecting this shit. To my knowledge, these things at the bottom are collectible, but serve no other purpose than to be sold, right? The Journal, Seal, and King's Idol. And then Lumify Lantern. This shit just glows in the dark, so that's nice. And that's that so far. So, I've defeated the Mantis Lords. I got the soul from Distant Village where the spiders are, semi-recently. I beat the one Dream Warrior that has the, like, monk bangles that, like, summons the shit that falls on you. What else? Oh. I think the thing I need to gun for is that there are these, like, large wells that shoot out black energy, and I can't go through them unless I have an upgrade that lets me dash, like Blink Dash. So that's next on the list. What else? I guess I could go after one of the Dreamers, because I've already cleared the one near Deepness / Distant Village, I believe. So we can go the center area near Fungal Waste and try that. So we're just straight up going down. Oop. Okay. Oh, wow. That's framey. My ass having to turn down settings on fucking Hollow Knight. It's the lowest it can be. Desync off. Particle effects low. Let's see if that helps. Latency's better. Is it Queen Station? So I'm hoping to make some progress And then, honestly, depending on the timeline of when I complete more of this game, I am definitely interested in what Silksong has to offer. But obviously, there's so much game here to go through first. Where was I headed to? I was headed to the Fungal Waste, but this is just not where it is, huh? No, we're close-ish. Yeah, we're close-ish. We're heading up and to the right. Yeah, as an aside, since I'm just gonna be fucking backtracking a little bit here. Motherfucking... I hope some people have some stuff they're looking forward to from the freaking Nintendo Direct, dude. Who wants to buy Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 for the Nintendo Switch for $55 each? Pretty hype. Still waiting for my Layton? Shit, me too. What is it, City of Steam? I've been waiting on that shit. Fucking wake me up when that shit comes out. Although I will say there's some very interesting and unexpected surprises, like Danganronpa 2x2, which is just like a remake of 2 with extra routes and endings and culprits and shit, which is interesting because they're just not going to make the 4th one, I guess. I mean, it's cool. The 2nd one is probably the best one, but like, it's just funny. And then what else? Fatal Frame remake, didn't expect that, but that would be cool to see what's up with that because it's, you know, all new and shit. And then what else was notable from there? Oh, Fire Emblem for Fire Emblem heads. I'm personally not a Fire Emblem head, but I know many, and it seems like people like it. It says a lot that everything I thought was cool was the shit Nintendo fans hate. Right. I feel like it's so funny, like, I guess I could say I'm a fan of Danganronpa, because I think the games are cool, and I've not played, but like, I've seen someone I know play fucking 1, 2, and a good chunk of 3. So I'm invested. And then what else? I can't assume people hated Fatal Frame, right? Like, I don't think there's much to hate on that front. And then they did like a very minor teaser for RE9. What else was there? The fucking Virtual Boy addition to the online emulation service that they charge you for, I think. Oop, there we go. Oh yeah, I can't go down there. Okay, I think another thing I can do. I think in City of Tears there's some shit I missed. So let's see what's up. Funny you said looking forward to something seconds before Celia said hashtag looking forward to it. Yeah, bro. What can I say? Wavelength. You know the vibes. Spectre streams Danganronpa 2x2 and does all the voices, gets a DM from Spike Chunsoft to voice the main character Danganronpa 4. I've thought about doing a game where I could voice it, but I wonder the longevity of that, because I actually do that quite a bit, because like a friend and I go through other games like Greatest Attorney and whatnot, and I already do that. So like I may as well stream that sometime, right? So like Ace Attorney games are up there, Danganronpa could be up there. So I'm like open, but we'll see. That's a non-zero for sure. And I think it would be really fun to get through Danganronpa and like voice it. Although games like it, I would definitely be interested in. Like games I know nothing about, so it's at least more interesting to watch. Oh my god. Crazy. Hard confirms the Spectre will be playing Fucker in the Woods chat. I looked up that game like one time. I don't know anything about it. I mean, okay, is the game free? If the game's free, I might. Because, like, I'm not above anything. Oh, fuck. My mistake. Oh, my mistake. I think it's $2 for all of them. I gifted them to Zero. I know that. Oh, I'm just... Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. Distracted. I mean, that's not much at all. Yeah, I could do fucker in the woods sometime. I don't care. That can go in the same realm of stream as when I did meat and fuck percent. Fucker explodes, yep. Okay. Ouch. Oh, Jesus. One sec, let me check in some shit. I'll be right back. I return. Thank you, Shark Wizard Gaming, for your gracious deed in slaying that daemon. Now only I can get the cheap followers. Maybe I should just blacklist the phrase. It's always advertising the same thing. I forget whose chat I did it for, but for a different chat I mod for, I remember blacklisting the phrase / link itself, and I think that stopped a lot of it. Right as I was taking a sip of my drink, need to be vigilant gatekeeping free followers. Exactly. You know all too well. Okay. What is it? We go up here to get in? Yes. True, that's smart. Yeah, because I remember for someone else I was modding for, I just had to keep killing the bots, and I was like, I mean, they all say the same shit. At least, you know, I feel like the link / format we're seeing, like, cheap viewers at blank.com. Like, at least that's been more consistent lately. Back then, it was just like, want free viewers? Let's see. What am I missing here? Okay, we're going to the right. Like when Mad Dog reveals he was a free viewer bot. Listen, be that as it may, I can trust one bot. I'm not above it. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Thank you for your usage of the emotes. So thankfully now, I guess, for whatever reason, Twitch decided to recognize that I'm actually affiliate / yeah, I think it's affiliate, not partner. Partner's the big one. So now my emotes can be used outside of my chat. Wow. Finally. Isn't that sick? So that's cool for those that care. Finally, the thing we paid for, I'm saying. It was Haki kind of ridiculous because it just kept things gate-kept at gate-kept at like 24 followers, so it would monetize on it despite reaching the goal, but then not allowing the full monetization benefits to kick in. It's just weird. Very weird. But yes, finally. Oh yeah, RE9 is looking pretty good. Although it's funny that the Switch runs at basically PS4 levels of fidelity, so it looks kind of jank, but I guess it runs it. So, still a step behind. Alright, let's see. Switch 2's been a console of all time for real, yeah. I mean, I saw they were doing some like mildly cool stuff for it, but I do feel like... I don't know. I mean, I think it's cool that it's finally comparative in performance to some things so that it can run modern games, but it's certainly been a console. Okay, so I can't get through here. I have to go all the way around, presumably. We head down in Siege. I thought Mario Kart World was insanely mid. I feel like it's funny because there was so much press and like positivity around it because of the expansiveness of the levels slash like exploring it with friends and like free roam, and then the fact that there's so many playable characters, but it really just sort of stopped there, huh? That's fine. We were gonna go down anyway. Oh yeah, he's gone. It's a really funny idea to hype it up because it's an open world racing game. Why would I want that? That's true. They were just like literally advertising stuff just to advertise it. It's just like ride around the levels without need of caring about lapping anyone. You can explore. See what we made. Open world with nothing to do, shitty detours no one likes. The game punishes you for drifting? That's crazy. I didn't know that. This fella, he buys the stuff. Oh, it says it, the name of the game. I don't have this door open yet. Go inside and go down. But yeah, I do feel like it's so interesting how many holdovers from the pandemic that were clearly apparent with some aspects of it. Like, I feel like I'm sure if Mario Kart World released when the Switch 1 was out, and if that released in tandem with the Switch game chat, it would have been fire for like the 2 years that would have been relevant. Oop. You know, most of the tracks are straight lines and turning is slightly faster than drifting. That's so funny because I felt like drifting was such a mainstay mechanic of like, this is how you get good at Mario Kart. I mean, the game looked interesting on release, so I was just half expecting it to be like graphical fidelity upgrades, map changes, and then maybe slight tweaks to the gameplay. But I didn't expect what I feel like is kind of antithetical to what I assume Mario Kart is. That makes me wonder, because I've also seen coverage on, what is it, Sonic Crossroads? Is that a more compelling or interesting racing game by comparison? Because they're doing, like, all these random Sega cameos too, right? So it makes me wonder. It looks fine, but it's just not gameplay-wise. Also, the first track of the Grand Prix is a regular 3-lap race. Rest are 1-lap detour the next track. That is a shame. Also, doesn't it like low-key invalidate the interests of people that purchased the expansions for the previous game's maps? Because it inherently means like, oh, you bought them for the past game. Cool. Well, now this game has none of them. Only got to play a bit of it because the weekend demo was infinitely more fun. Drifting is rewarding and feels good. At least from a gameplay perspective, Crossroads seems to hold it down. So that's good. Ideally, right, for racing game to be fun for the racing aspect, who would have thought? Okay, we head down. I also feel like there's some other releases that are like low-key flying under the radar, but I don't know if it's just me or if it's actually just lack of hype generated. Like, what is it? Skate 4 is like doing a bit of a run in terms of like advertising itself, but I don't know if I see a ton of hype for it quite yet. Ice cream track from 8DX Pass was literally a preview for World because it's a lot of the weird design stuff and it makes sense with the World's mechanics. Intriguing. Oh, oops. That was bad. There was a hint there the whole time. Ooh. Oh. Perhaps we go this way. And then, ooh. Now what is this? This is new to me. This is like... all yucky down here. Also, I feel like for Mario Kart as a series, I feel like the larger implications of like the success of Mario Kart as a game, for example, are like longevity from playing the online component, right? Because I'm not just going to do solo races, ideally. Yeah, this is kind of tough. So it makes me wonder, like, if mechanic-wise it's just really weird and the maps aren't that fulfilling, then what is there for me as, like, a consumer to want to come back and play it often? I mean, it's not like a Steam game that needs to earn its keep in comparison, right? Like, they kind of already got the bag, and Nintendo is not gonna let go of it, so like maybe they don't need to think by those rules, but it feels weird when designing a game that I feel like is very inherently dependent on the core stuff being solid so that people come back to it. Because I would assume all the people that enjoyed the prior Mario Kart already own it. Solo races and grinding coins and free run to unlock everything's an absolute slog. I have not touched it the past third week of owning it. That's rather unfortunate because they did try to implement the new shit to give you like progression. But now it's kind of like a chore. That reminds me of the fact that I had Mario Golf, and I thought it was pretty cool, and I think multiplayer is genuinely pretty fun. But you do have to grind a lot if you want anything you'd really be interested in. Which I guess such is the case for many modern non-single player Mario games. Oh yeah, aren't they like doing new Mario Tennis or whatever? So I guess that's a thing. Or no, wait, was it New Mario Strikers? I forget. It's not New Mario Strikers. It's got to be like Tennis or something. I think they're definitely going to do the same thing they did with Mario Party games on the Switch and just abandon it, try again with another. Plausible. Oh, everything's all musty and dusty down here. But yeah, I guess it's a fair guess as to what Nintendo's hoping to get out of it, because it wasn't that consequential. Has been an impactful Mario Sports release since GameCube. They pumped out like 4 of them in the past 5 years, and yeah, no one gives a gaff. I feel like it's a shame because the ones on the GameCube were bangers, and then they were just like, look, they're on the Switch now. And it's like, sure, they are, but it doesn't hit the same in any way. Like, what was it? Mario Golf, fire. Mario Strikers, fire. Mario Tennis, pretty fire. And then since then, it's just been like, oh, you guys remember this? This is kind of like what you remember on the GameCube. And it kind of reminds me of how like they got a little quirky with like Double Dash and stuff with Mario Kart, and then they just sort of never did that again. Don't forget Luigi's Mansion, true. Isn't the whole stuff with Luigi's Mansion kind of weird because like the sequel was on DS and then they did the 3rd game on Switch or something? The fact Mario Tennis was on Wii was literally just the GameCube version with motion controls. I mean, I guess if it ain't broke, right? Oh, terrible. We heal and then we jump. Oh. I guess that's fine. I don't have a map. Problematic. Well, I just came up here. Is there any reason to be over here on the side? Not quiet. Whoops. You know, I will say, at least interestingly, I mean, it's not like it's gonna motivate me to get it. But with the Donkey Kong, like, Bonanza game, it seems pretty cool. I appreciate that they're taking something new with that. I mean, it's kind of like Odyssey coded for sure, but it looks new and interesting, at least. And then, what is it? Yeah, Donkey's Kong Gussie, exactly. Thank you for the clarification. And then, what's her name? Pauline gets to sing. So that's cool, too. Where is this? Is this the other side? Ooh. Have I been here? Perhaps not. New area. Very nice. Oh, what was it? Oh yeah, they're doing like the Mario Galaxy movie or something. And that's why Galaxy 1 and 2 are available on the Switch for 95% of the original price. If I could be so for real, how hard do you cry when you made Pauline a child instead of a woman? I feel like at least from a design perspective, New Pauline was very cool. I actually didn't feel quite attached to Pauline outside of that. Oh, who was this? Upper cast of Hollow Nest? Oof. Was. Can't fart myself out of here to bed. Have a good Saturday night, all of you. Take care, butter. Thank you for coming through. Enjoy yourself. This is the bounce on it challenge. Oh. The hashtag Hollow Knight bounce on it challenge. Bounce on it with 3 friends and you'll get a new Hollow Knight. Oh, ouch. 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 That hurt. Welcome to Watch Mojo. Top 3 moments to bounce on it. Ouch. Okay, I got her pretty far away from the bench. That's right, chat. It's Bounce on It Saturday. Oh. Ouch. Oh, no. Tragic. Oh, okay. Was there anything else compelling from Nintendo Direct, or was that it? Because, like, some of it was like, whatchamacallit? Some of it was really just third-party releases for Switch, / like, announcements and teasers for that. But otherwise, like, mainline Nintendo stuff, not much. I guess unless you're a Fire Emblem head, in which case you're probably, like, super satisfied. Watch Mojo needs a hub channel. This is true. Top 10 adaptations. Number 1, the 2012 election. This has been Watch Mojo's WFAPS collection. Dragon Quest VII Remake, that looks cool. It does look cool. I remember seeing online people talking about the sprite comparison to like the OG art instead of pulling something from the DS, because I guess there was some sort of release on the DS for that. So that's neat. Very cool that Dragon Quest has still got that going there. I think Dragon Quest XI was cool, but it's a shame that, like, for some reason, the way the camera is gives slight motion sickness. I'm sure there's a way to fix it, maybe FOV, but, like, it just was rather unfortunate for an experience of trying to get into it. But Dragon Quest as a whole, pretty cool. Vomiting on slimes. Yeah, we're about to see some green slimes, brother. Was this where I was going? Likely. Yeah, it was. And then I have to go fight my ghost to get my souls back. My little bug currency. That I can't hold because I'm just such a petite bug. Ouch. There we go. Digimon Time Strangers mogging the shit out of Pokemon announcing day 1 DLC Mons and ranked only Mega Evos. That's wild. I saw someone do a comparison between a Digimon game and the most recent Pokemon game and showing like the cityscape slash like scenes with detail and like rich crowds and stuff like that. Was that Time Stranger? Oh, Jesus. Makes sense. I do feel like it's funny because I was never that into Digimon like that, but I feel like it has always low-key had a more interesting expansion via games. Demo now. I'm tweaking. We'll have to see on that. Where am I? Oh, we're in the right place, I think. Yep. No, my ghost. Oh. Ouch. There we go. Evolution system of the story games are cool since they're non-linear. You can get those moves onto Mons that normally wouldn't have them. Need to find some time to check out the demo though. Very cool mechanics. Okay. We got our stuff back. Oh, Jesus Christ. Got smacked. Let's see here. Was it this way? Yeah, it was. Oh. Oh yeah, that's right. The Smack It Saturday. The Red Bull Smack It Saturday challenge. Ouch. Brought to you by the G Fuel Bounce On It hashtag gameplay challenge. So I guess it plays into the marketing a bit, but like didn't G Fuel post something about like, oh, it's been a fun adventure, everyone, but we're gonna have to change this chapter or whatever. And like it might literally just be a rebrand because I don't think G Fuel's going out of business. Or something like that, or maybe it's just like they're trying to code themselves as like less gamer. This could just be news for people that literally don't have anything else going on. Guy that fell to his knees when he saw the G Fuel announcement. Goes home and destroys Gamer Subs Cup out of rage. G Fuel will be rebranding to appeal to non-gamers. The West has fallen. Really a shame. No more cool flavors, just fruit flavors like lemon. We truly live in dark times. Or maybe G Fuel's trying to expand so that they can allow gamer subs to rep the racists, and then G Fuel will find all the people that are clearly not to differentiate themselves in a very competitive market, of course. Yaku Raspberry Kaioken God flavor. God, I wish. Infinitely more interesting than whatever they got going on. I can't even name you a flavor. Unless we get like really quirky with it, I feel like as me, I don't think there's anything else acceptable aside from like Spectre Blueberry. Tell me you don't love Garfield Grape Blast flavors. I'm sorry, I definitely use my what is it? Bishojo Garfield shaker cup to mix that up. Along with the caffeinated ramen as well. A pairing just like wine and steak. I have a map of this area, so I'm just kind of wandering until I find out where I'm supposed to go again because I forgot. Oh, there we go. Not that far. I feel like it is really interesting in this day and age for, what is it, gamer-coded products to advertise themselves to new emergent crowds, because it's like I think Gamer Subs has a chokehold on people that are kind of degen. That Spectre just got his Gamer Sub sponsor. Check out his blue noodle caffeinated ramen. It's like the Sonic curry, like sickly blue. But I was gonna say, like, I feel like I don't know if there's anything pure about gamer marketing because it all seeks to take advantage of people's like lowest common denominator interest in gaming or gaming adjacent things like anime. Just say you wouldn't buy the Razer condoms. I feel like Razer's been in a very interesting spot because they've made a lot of random stuff. Like, I've actually tried Razer Respawn. It doesn't taste bad. I just don't think it has a market like that. And I feel like maybe they would make hella bands if they did the thing Gamer Subs did, where it's like, oh, we put an anime girl on it. But like, oh no, dude. Maybe that's just me, I don't know. Gamer Subs will sponsor anyone and everyone to get you personally to buy a Mint Phantom Meat booty ass cups with a built-in shaker. Yeah, exactly. Me acting like I know who Mint Phantom is. I'm sure they're great. I think I'm killing the up class. I think these guys were formerly rich people, and now they're gross hellspawn. Ooh, that's big. I'm skipping you. I'm going straight to the train. Oh, King Station. Why didn't you say so? We already discovered Queen Station. Ooh. W. How much geo do we need? That's a sizable nut. And now we get to ring the train. The stag train. What other terrible gamer stuff is there? What was it at Offkai? I remember Zura and I went to a booth and they had like these, like, what is it called? These coolers with a spout and you could get samples. It was definitely one of the gamer mixed drinks. It might have been Gamer Subs. Some of it didn't taste that bad. Although I do think all of them are overpriced. Oh, that's the door. I can't go in. Oh, take a little dip. Okay, we've been there. What else is out here for me? This sign means something. We cannot read though. Oh, jeez. Oh my god. Okay, now I know. We found out what's down here. Maybe I know Igloo of all companies has been shitting out a ton of gamer branded coolers and water bottles. That's interesting. The outreach is interesting. I will give them that. I think having that sort of joined brand partnership is better than the attempt to capitalize on something like gamer subs. But maybe I'm just levying a lot of unnecessary hate to gamer subs for what they're doing because they're occupying a niche. Because it's like, no one has to like it, but it does sell for a reason. So like Igloo's like, yeah, we'll put Sonic on it. This does also remind me about how Persona 5 as an IP has just been absolutely handed out to anyone who's willing to make anything. Like the amount of Persona 5 perfumes and hot sauces and coffees and ballpoint pens and the Persona 5 scale that has like character voices for when you weigh yourself. Or like, what was it? I remember a while ago, it's like an old ass internet picture for sure, so it's not anything new, but it was like Neon Genesis Evangelion merch that's just like tonally dissonant from the show because it's them having fun on a beach eating ice cream. Persona 5 on a mission to sell it harder than Persona 4 ever did. Yes, sir. How else are we gonna bankroll Persona 6? Oh. I do feel like with the success of Persona 5, I feel like Persona 6 invariably will be somewhat mid, but will be remedied by the, like, the, whatchamacallit, the expected subsequent definitive edition to come out. So, like, if Persona 6 comes out, it's going to be okay. And then they're going to do the actual game that has everything. All Ava merch, half the games are dating sims where you play as a Mac Ava pilot and change your girlfriend and cookouts. Yeah. Yeah. I do find it funny when Ava merch is really just sort of contracted out for the colors only. Like when they made Ava branded shoes or like the Neon Genesis motherboard plus 4090. And it's just purple and green. And people are like, whoa. Now that's a GPU. Ava McDonald's toys.
Bapanada.
I already bought everything from here. Crazy. Bapanada, as they say. What's a recent example of an anime that's done the Ava route of just like anything on everything? Maybe Demon Slayer low-key. Maybe Jujutsu Kaisen as well. What else? Hit the map maker's wife from the back and give me the Bapanada eyes. Yes, sir. And I'm gonna put a pin on that. All modern shonen? That's kind of true. That's kind of true. You're gonna see whatever nail I pull out of this. Oh. Oh, they done fucked up the area, bro. What the hell? That's not cool. It's just all flooded and shit. Cringe. Personal me, but Power Ranger be collabing with literally anyone and anything. That's funny. I feel like Power Rangers as a property is so interesting because like they've been so like, okay, the word isn't staying power because that implies that they've held the cultural impact position for the longest time. But they've been around for a really long time and they've continued for a long time, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think clearly they've hit a lot of peaks and a lot of valleys in distinct eras of like the 2000s to 2010s. And then in some fashion, it may have fell off a little. Dying Corpse has been on life support for over a decade, right? So like maybe 2010s-ish, because they did the live action movie. And that definitely was a movie, as far as I'm concerned. So like, perhaps, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's just up to whoever has the rights to make things with it, to continue it, right? Because it's not like they'd ever stop. Every time the new rights holder picks it up, because name recognition and nostalgia realizes it's not financially viable and then tosses it off to another sucker, rinse and repeat, yeah. And I think it's interesting because like I'm not necessarily in the sauce with Sentai and stuff like that, or like I would assume Tokusatsu is like very ingrained in that genre slash cultural zeitgeist, but like clearly there's a lot more going on for that in Japan for it to be a mainstay and continue to actually grow in popularity compared to Power Rangers in the West, because Power Rangers in the West has not meaningfully capitalized on any of it or made anything different to capture new fans. But that's just an assessment from a guy who doesn't know a lot about it. So what do I know? It's a Harmony Gold Robotech situation where Power Rangers existing is actively preventing Sentai stuff from leaving Asia. Interesting. Well, that sucks. Because, like, the whole thing is that Power Rangers is Western Sentai stuff. So, like, I guess that makes sense as to what is prohibiting, like, the quote-unquote good stuff from coming out. Oh, Jesus. Oh. Ouch. Oh. They've trapped me in this room with 1,000 men. Crisis averted. Ooh. Min is getting thrust to Thursdays on a Saturday. This is true. Oh. Now what do we have here? Ooh. So I can like accumulate more soul slash like energy meter. That's cool. Nice. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, you know what's been absolutely like insanely wrung out in terms of lack of cultural staying power, but they're just keeping it alive forever is Halloween, the franchise. Energy emitter, as some would say. Mm-hmm. Energy dometer, perhaps. I remember seeing Halloween Kills in theaters with some friends. It was really, really bad. It was insanely bad. Halloween ended like 12 times. It's insane. It is insane. And I think it's really funny that, like, it's not to say any of the kills in Halloween were ever particularly impactful, But for Halloween Kills, there was a point in time where Michael Myers was pursuing these two inside of a car. It was like they were in an Escalade or something. And they had the door partially open because one of them was about to leave the car. And then one guy brought out his gun. And they were near the door. Michael Myers hit the door. And then it swung the guy's hand with the gun in it back into his head and made him shoot himself. And that was just like one of many ridiculous kills, which I can't even say is really attributed to Michael Myers at that point. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's a little stolen valor of Michael Myers. Oh my god. That's so tough. Ouch. No, I did this to myself. There we go. Although it looks like outside of like decades old horror franchises, there are some new horror franchises and like undertakings that are better. I'm not even particularly a big horror head because scary. But let's see. What was it? I still need to see Weapons. Sinners was good. I've heard good things about Nosferatu, and then apparently there's a Wolfman movie coming out, same director, and I think a lot of the same core cast with some additions. So they're cooking on that one. Let's see, off the topic of horror, other franchises that have really been wrung out. Horror movie kills make me forget how durable the human body is. I watched the most recent Final Destination with family, and there was a scene where some dude stepped in a piece of glass very slowly and nodded all forcefully, and it cut straight through his foot like dough. That is crazy. I do feel like, I mean, some of it has to be a little fantastical, and some of it has to be a little grounded in like, well, would that happen? And for Final Destination, they get to toe the line often because of the fact that it's like people dying in insane ways. Also, I guess, like, what was it? I've never seen these, but I've only heard of it, and its reputation kind of precedes it because it had, like, marketing and people's hearsay online, but, like, Terrifier being, like, a more recent example of modern gory slasher. But I don't know if it's, like, good or if people were like, oh, they just like to see slashers with grotesque amounts of that. So it's kind of a hard call on that in terms of, it having a place in there, because I guess people really like it, but I don't know if it necessarily, well, it's not to say any other movies had like deserved accolades for being horror slasher flicks. We've definitely come a long way though, because I feel like back then it was slashers, and then for the early 2000s to like maybe almost the 2020s for a bit, it was all zombies. Generally don't know if the Terrifier is good. All I hear is it made me throw up. Yeah, that's really the only feedback I hear. Oh, that reminds me, they're like, I think it was announced during State of Play. They're making a Hellraiser game, which is cool. So we'll see what that's all about, because they're actually using that IP in an interesting way, I guess. I think it's horror survival. It is actually crazy how the only feedback I've really heard about Terrifier, it's like, oh, it's so good, you gotta see it, it's crazy. And it's just because it's like, oh, it made me few chunks, it's crazy. I'll raise a game with limited run games physical edition that not only takes forever to come out, but has a real Nightmare Dimension cube, right? I've seen so many horror stories about limited run games and how the fact that like some people are receiving pre-orders 2 years later or something insane like that. I also think it's a shame because there are some genuinely cool things that came out, like what was it? For the period in time in which I had a Switch. Briefly interested in Persona 4 Golden for the Switch because like that's cool. Or like it was Persona 3 Portable as well for the Switch, but it's only limited run games, so it's like okay, if you can deal with everything else, I suppose you can get it. What is all the way up here? I suppose we'll find out. No More Heroes 1 and 2 physical editions for the Santa Destroy flag that came with the bundle. Size of a napkin? That's crazy. Yeah, it was an insane scam. That reminds me of a story that always kills me, where because me and Zero were actually actively anticipating and looking forward to Kingdom Hearts 3, he pre-ordered it, and I think he got the deluxe edition that came with a poster, and it was the Woody poster because there was a Toy Story World, and it was one of the worst like fabric rolled posters he could have gotten because it's just Woody from Toy Story and none of the Kingdom Hearts characters. That shit kills me. It feels like a punishment. Although it did create the let him cook meme, so I suppose cultural impact wise, he may have something on his hands. I realize I could have used this elevator instead of doing all that stuff just now. No, wait, the elevator doesn't take me to that place. Oh, okay. Woody the Goat, you see how he talked to Xehanort? That's true. I've contemplated playing through Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind because I had Kingdom Hearts 3 Vanilla for a bit and decided that I just didn't like it enough to continue or beat it. I feel like maybe this is a tired topic. Perhaps I will stop. All I gotta say is it may or may not be on the list of things to do. Kingdom Hearts Harry lurking, forced to walk home crying. Unfortunate, they're not gonna get their fix here. Already spent years on Zura's channel crying our eyes out. Oh, it's just water. In the Spirit's Glade, it's not even a fountain, or what is it? Hot spring. Bad. 500 essence? How much do I have? 494, that's crazy. I guess we'll be back soon. Oh yeah, there were also like rumors stirring of like Xbox teaming up with ROG, or I don't think it's rumors anymore. I think they've confirmed an Xbox branded ROG Ally product. So it's just a handheld, but it's officially endorsed and is like, oh, supposed to be good for Game Pass and cloud gaming. And I feel like it's interesting because like what is it? Does Xbox truly only just have a chokehold in like some US markets and the EU? Because like they don't really care about Xbox in Asia, right? Oh. We're in the messed up zone. Xbox Zune 2. Unironically would be cool. I used to own a Zune. It was a very well-built machine. It also had a really nice screen. I think the only reason I owned it was because I was tired of dealing with iTunes. 4 guys in Asia and Xboxes only use them to play Halo and Idolmaster. There's Idolmaster in the Xbox? That makes sense. I just feel like it's so interesting that they've like created an ecosystem with Game Pass and cloud gaming, but then they like refuse to make anything that's like compellingly close to an all-in-one that can run games at like medium. Because I feel like that, I don't know, to me that's the next logical step if they can't compete in the console market. Because otherwise they've been the affordable way to play things in 4K and play like FIFA. Idolmaster 2 is a JP360 exclusive. That's crazy. The more you know. And also, I guess there's not really Xbox exclusives anymore. Like, I remember the big thing was like Halo and Gears. That's about it. And now you can freely find those, presumably on PC. What else was really exclusive for Xbox? That isn't like old. Like for example, like the old COD exclusivity, I think, where it was like they would get the maps first or something. But that's like a while ago. Whereas like certain IPs that were strictly Xbox was like Halo, I guess. Problem is exclusives, people talk about how PS5 has no games, but Xbox has negative games. That's true. I feel like Game Pass as a premise was very cool. I'm sure it's going to be priced out to the point where it's no longer the deal it ever once was. But it's also just like, it was kind of insane to be able to tap in and play all the Persona games, all the Call of Duties, and all the Halo games through one subscription. But it matters so much less now because it's available everywhere else. Like, I think the lack of gatekeeping, the lack of partnerships is unfortunately hampering the growth of Xbox trying to do anything outside of like Game Pass or like buying companies and never doing anything with them. Ouch. Because like, wasn't it like 90% of the companies they announced as being part of the Xbox family or Microsoft family is like now essentially defunct slash sold slash a third other thing? Because like they used to do shit. Oh yeah, and they also have Bethesda, but then like people were obviously, for good reason, upset about the prospect of like, you better not make Elder Scrolls exclusive. Oh yeah, the naming scheme was also really bad. I mean, I'm sure it's been talked about to death, but like, becoming Xbox One and then Xbox Series 1, X, and S. Yeah, that's crazy. That's worse than how Sony names headphones. Doesn't Elder Scrolls have enough weight to carry Xbox sales, chat? Yeah. Yeah. For sure. I feel like the only thing that's really consistently bolstered modern Xbox sales is the fact that Xbox is like the Series S, which I believe is the long style light one that's like lower tier but can play 1080p 60 is great for just getting for Game Pass and FIFA. Xbox 360 being named so the PS3 had a 3 was so funny. That was crazy. Like, I understand from like people talking about it in videos, it's like, oh, the code name was Revolution or whatever. But it is really funny to have Xbox and then PS2. It's like, oh, well, it'll sound inferior. We have to add more number. Winx, Blue Dragon, Lost Odyssey. I remember Blue Dragon. as like a promoted IP. Oh my god. When the flamboyant gods yucking it up with motorcycles. I also loosely remember that. Also, hello, butter. What was it? I distinctly remember, because we owned an OG Xbox and 360. What was it? Fusion Frenzy was kind of lit. I feel like that could have been something, but I don't know. I remember playing Blue Dragon and then they said bastard in front of my mother, so I never played it again. That's rough. That reminds me of something I just freshly heard on a stream where someone was talking about they were playing Rocket League on like console with their friend when they were 15 or whatever. And like, let's say the friend's name was Tyler. They changed their in-game name to Tyler is gay, so when they scored a goal, it said it on screen. And when Tyler's mom saw it, they like froze everything up and they're like, we need to have a family talk about this. This is ridiculous. What was that? Sure, they still should have remembered Frauded League, right? Plus Tua. Rocket League. That is crazy work. But incredibly funny story. Also, I felt crazy because, like, what was it? Like, I don't think there was any particular disadvantage to owning an Xbox 360 during the era where it was 360 versus PS3. But, like, there was an odd amount of people at school that had PS3s that thought people with Xboxes were weird. And I feel like that shouldn't have been the case. I feel like if, I don't know, personally, I feel like Xboxes make sense to be in the majority, but I don't know. Oh, Goku Kid summoning a Dragon Genie as a stand. I do recall that, yes. I would look at that box art often. Like, going through, like, Hollywood video or something. Jesus. Oh my god. No! Wow. An awful experience, but I freed the little guy, so that's fine. Where was I? Oh no. I think I gotta go to Infected Crossroads through the elevator. I had a 360 and desperately wanted a PS3 as a kid because my cousins had one. I thought it was cool. I could play PS1 and 2 games physically and digitally. That was a pretty killer feature. Having a PS3 later, super sick. And I think it's still, I don't know. I don't know anything about what it means to port games. But I feel like it's crazy to have owned in the past Persona 3 FES, but there's a digital copy and it doesn't work on a PS4 or presumably a PS5. You need to get the version specific. And I just think if the technology existed before, why can't it do the thing now? Because right now we see that Nintendo is basically just emulating games for their online service. So, I don't know. I thought it would have been cool to retain the digital titles that you had for, say, PS2 or PS3 and carry it all the way over to PS5. That would have been sick. Oh yeah, and side thing, I guess, like, some people may have, like, used as, like, a reason to get it, but, like, Blu-rays for PS3s. 360 could play original Xbox games as well. Not all of them, but did some at least. Yeah, there was some form of backwards compatibility, but the PS3 being fully backwards compatible is pretty cool. Every company is emulating games. Not a single one has bothered bringing on any emulator dev team. All it takes is one company doing it and they just win. Right, and I think it's also funny on the same note with the fact that so many people that work on projects like this won't shut up about it. And then they invariably get And because they're like, oh no, they found out we were doing a for-profit project on the emulation of their games that we don't own. Oh no. What was I? Rip. What was it? They tried something else, I forget, for the Switch. Or like, there was one where it was like gated behind a Patreon. That was insane. I don't think I was here. I thought this too, but when I tried playing Sonic Riders in 360, it told me I need to buy a hard drive to install the entire OG Xbox files to do it. Wow. At least there was a way to do it, though. I mean, it's definitely a shame that it required extra things like that. But if you were balling like that and you had a hard drive, you'd be playing some Sonic Riders, I guess. Instead of facing the problem where it's like, with the whole Persona thing, I contacted PlayStation support and they're just like, yeah, you can't play this on the current console. You need to buy the new one. You know, I think in terms of the new emotes I've been making, some of them are pretty good, but I really like the readability of Spectre Smile. Or Spectre 1 Smile. I wonder if Spectre 1 Sag is easy to see as Sag because of the color swap and the detail. .360 needed a whole other disk drive to play Blu-rays. Yeah, that's true. Or like, it was crazy that generation of 360 was the only console that ever had a problem like the Red Ring. And then there were like incredibly whack remedies for it, like putting your 360 in the oven for a certain amount of time at a certain temperature to fix it. Which is like, how would you even go about knowing that unless you're like a real head that like knows how hardware works, I guess? I don't know. Oh, we're back. My gems, my guild. Caused by booting the system too much, and all Xboxes are stress tested in factory by turning them off and on over and over, so regardless, your system was messed up before you even bought it. That's crazy. There had to have been a better way, surely. What an interesting cause. Because all that makes me think is like, well, PlayStation's never really did that. So what happened? I guess it's a hardware diff. Also, what is it? I'm pretty sure PS5s use Radeon graphics, and I would assume previous PlayStations or the PlayStation 4 might have. I don't know. Or they used the proprietary graphics, but then like Xbox used NVIDIA. So I wonder if that was a cause of anything. Although this information is unverified, so I just be talking. Chip shortage at the time, plus it was rushed out to beat PS3 the market. Those do be factors, that's true. And then they like, what was it? They made the Slim, and then what was it? Was there a Pro 360 or was there just a better version with more storage? Like baseline. I don't ever think there was a Pro Xbox in that sense. Okay, this area is somewhat new because I've been to the Crystal Caves, but not doing that Grahamtown thing. The late model that looked like the Xbox One for some reason, and everything was the same. That's funny. Like, why? Nope, that was bad. It is also crazy how, like, design has taken such a turn for consoles because, like, PS5 design is still crazy to me. I don't even think there's anything about it ergonomically sound in terms of, like, oh, you know, the air is better on this. Like, I think people have literally crammed the internals of a PS5 into a square Xbox One looking chassis, and it was actually better. And I do believe the conspiracy theory of, like, they made it such a shape and size so that people will see it when they go to your house. Because it's like a piece of furniture at that point. And then Xbox, they made a fridge. And that's pretty cool, I guess. And because it looks like Yu-Gi-Oh! Kaiba, this is true. Seto Kaiba with the insane popped collar. And I also think it's really funny the promo they've done for certain PS5 shell releases. Like, I think there was a Ghost of Yote one that does kind of look like they just smeared poop on it. Because it has, like, the paint strokes, but it's, like, slightly dark. Green short that got sponsored by Sony. I don't know if I'm familiar with that. Oh, I've been here before. Oh, need Conquer Mighty Poo Box, I'm saying. Of a dad buying a PS5 and trying to hide the fact from his wife by calling it what? Oh, okay. That was a sponsored short? I thought that was, like, just like a YouTube short of some kind. But I guess that makes sense. That's really funny. Because that shit does not look like a console. Oh my god. I do think there is a ubiquity to, like, console handheld now because Switch just is the most inviting looking in terms of size and appearance, is, like, very notably Nintendo. And then when someone whips out a Steam Deck, it's like, that's cool, but there's also, like, a big honking, like, PC replacement. And then, like, other... I would say derivative works, but they are just competitors. Derivative works would imply they're copying something. Like the Lenovo Legion Go plus ROG Ally plus whatever the other ones are. Like, the Aya Neo, that's literally just a Windows 10 machine. Or Windows 11 machine. Vita was the last great handheld that balanced comfortability, performance, and portability. Lit. It was lit. The fact that it could also stream, and, like, you can basically do PS Portal stuff on there is cool. On YouTube, and when I say short, I mean I animated a video that was 4 minutes long, not an actual short. Okay. Because I thought there was a live action version of that. That was like a skit. But maybe I'm misremembering. Launched with an OLED screen too, insane how good it still looks. That's crazy. I didn't know that about the Vita. But that is an insane set of specs going on. Not to mention, I feel like the whole sliding stuff was pretty slick. Let's see. I could tear away hand cam stream one. and cam stream in general, then I feel like I gotta figure out a system for holding the cam. Because I know they sell like mounts, but there's gotta be a better way. I'm trying to see, because like I think that was a good amount of Hollow Knight, but low-key I kind of want to see more daily games. Maybe we could do higher, lower. Let's see. We're setting something up. There we go. This night's a little too hollow. Might have to fill him with dulls, exactly. That is time in the sun. Now it's our turn. And on that note, music. Okay. Here we go. Oh wow. Oh, hold on. Cat placement. That's better. All right, higher, lower. So we're just going to be clicking between two options, which one gets Googled more, based on monthly searches in 2017. South Park versus Outlook, the Windows suite. I think this has to be lower than South Park. Never mind. I'm super wrong. Billy Joel versus Gunnery. Gunnery has to be higher. But not by much. Novak Djokovic. Higher. Equal. Outlook communities on my ass, that's true. Twitter, higher. Prior to it being X the everything app. Bankruptcy. Lower. Price the Redeemer, higher. Oh, no. Bad. So bad at this. Deutsche Bank versus Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes-Benz, probably more. Oh, I'm just wrong. That's crazy bad. Emirates versus Cheeky Nando's. It would have been insane if Cheeky Nando's was more than Emirates. Ashley Madison at the time in 2017, crazy. More people bankrupt than Catholic, true. Johan Cruyff, lower. Old picture. IMDb higher, that's for sure. I know that's right. Mitsubishi, lower. OCD, lower. DC Comics, higher. Okay. Lower. I don't know what This American Life is. Is it like a podcast or something? The Deer Hunter, lower. That just makes sense. Magic Johnson, higher for sure. Jim Carrey, higher. Yup. We're on a tear. Freak of 10. Luxury hotels versus... People just be searching the term luxury hotels. Lower. Banta Black, higher. Golden Retriever, higher. Fefe, lower. Apple cider vinegar diet, lower. Immigration, higher, for sure. Higher. Oh, 17 streak is pretty good. That ain't half bad. What else is there? Let's find some other daily squeeze. Okay, we can do this. We can do movie grid. Alright. Movie grid, we gotta fill these in with movies featuring actor by criteria. So Glenn Powell, Emma Watson, Benedict Cumberbatch. Pretty doable. Well, Glenn Powell isn't Hitman, or The Hitman. The Hitman, right? No, what was it? He wasn't something like that. Glenn Powell? Or it could be Anyone But You. With Sydney Sweeney in it. Yeah. Emma Watson. Well, Harry Potter's a no-brainer. Harry Potter. And The Goblet of Fire. Benedict Cumberbatch. Avengers Endgame. The Small Goblin of Fire, this is true. The little goblin running across screen, but it's Harry Potter world, so no one cares. The Imitation Game? No, wait. Does it ignore the... Oh, they count. Okay, for sure. Imitation Game. What else was this one? He was Doctor Strange and Alan Turing. And then... I mean, I could just run Doctor Strange. But he's been in other things. Same with Emma Watson. I can't just run Harry Potter. Wasn't Glenn Powell in Top Gun? Maverick? Yep, okay. Oh. He was in the live-action Beauty and the Beast, right? Yep. That's crazy. Probably made it insane bands off that. Every time you click, I see White Woman jump scare like this. Benedict Cumberbatch. What movies has he been in? We'll revisit. Glenn Powell, though. Tough. I guess I don't consume enough content with Glenn Powell in it. Second, I was going to say House. That's not a movie, and it's a completely different Brit playing an American. Understandable. They are quite similar, aren't they? I guess we have to do Harry Potter now. Harry Potter. We'll do Prisoner of Azkaban, why not? Glenn Powell, though. 3-word title? What else has he done? How to do it for work now. Enjoy searching Glenn Powell verse for more duels by Spectre in chat. Thank you for coming through. Great as always. This is gonna be a short stream anyway, so it might be done after movie grid. So thankfully, not missing much, but thanks for staying through. Let's see. Glenn Powell movie? I don't know. I might have to get late to Doctor Strange. It was fun. Good luck with this one. Thank you, thank you. Have a great rest of your day. When? I don't know. I did ask, don't know. Twisters. Oh. Oh, she was in this too. That's crazy. He was in the Expendables? That's insane. I would have never known. These movies are insane. I think that is about it though. A much shorter stream for today, but we do get one in. I realized I don't have a stream end. Uh-oh. There we go. But alright. It's been good. Glad to get this one in and it's been fun. Anyone to freaking raid? Not particularly, unless... Thank you, Mad Dog Brandon. Gaming Incorporated. TY for stream blue, TY for coming through. I appreciate it. Let's see. Let's actually raid Mink. They're doing some art right now. Or no, wait, no. It's slash raid. There we go. But yes. Send them all your fun little emotes and love. It's been fun. Have a good Saturday.